There will have to be a tax increase somewhere, right? I think what's important is that we must make sure that we do not reduce spending.
So here we are in the midst of the budget speech, which has been postponed. And here we are, Songezo Zibi, from the leader of Rise Mzansi. What do you think happened here, and what does your party take away from this?
Look, I mean, I obviously know what happened because I was in the discussion, but my unhappiness is that the discussions should have taken place a lot sooner. Motions, tablings get postponed all the time, but this is a big one. It's got market impact and so on. And I think the discussion should have been had last week so that we do not place ourselves in this situation where you have to postpone the budget at the last minute, introduce market uncertainty, and also just national anxiety in general. So I am not happy about what happened today.
Just for our viewers' sake, just to help us clarify, I think, are you still in government with the ANC in Gauteng?
Correct.
How does that correlate now with the national? Is there any discussions, or are they, what do you call it, synonymous, or they're just separate?
No, they're not entirely separate, but obviously in South Africa we've got three spheres of government.
Yeah.
So the provincial sphere that does its own thing, especially after this process, once the funds have been transferred to provincial governments, they've got their own legislative process. So it's kind of semi-independent in that way. But what's important to note is that the national structures obviously just have got like superseding powers, both politically in terms of the political parties in the government of national unity, but also in terms of parliament and cabinet.
And in general, in Gauteng, are you happy with the arrangement that you have with the ANC?
So look, I mean, it's been working fine. There's been no interference with our MEC for Agriculture and Rural Development. She is driving a program that I believe has gained impetus over the last few months. And she's happy to interact with various stakeholders and drive results. And really, there has been no interference. So, even with exposing and dealing with corruption in the department, she's just been able to have a free hand in doing that.
And I see the major opposition now here has been the increase in VAT, the VAT tax. Would you support that? There should be no increase in VAT, because obviously it probably affects the poor the most.
Let me put it to you this way. There will have to be a tax increase somewhere, right? I think what's important is that we must make sure that we do not reduce spending in the most critical items: education, health, fighting crime, invest in water infrastructure, because we're going to have a big issue there, invest in electrical infrastructure, make a huge investment in transport infrastructure. Our roads are falling apart, our rail is falling apart, and so on. But also have very specific quantifiable measures to protect the poor. People who are unemployed, people who are receiving social grants, and make sure those measures are measurable, can be immediately accessed. I think there's a path to that. What South Africans have to accept is that whether it is companies or personal income tax or VAT, there is going to have to be a tax increase somewhere. It is unavoidable. But we must do it in a manner that is responsible and that protects the most vulnerable people.
I've spoken to Atul Trollop, who is obviously the leader, I believe, of Action SA in Parliament. He says there's a potential of Rise Mzansi, BOSA, forming some sort of merger with Action SA. You see that happening, that the three parties somehow coalescing?
Look, I mean, I wouldn't get to that level of specificity. What we have done and what we've always said is that it's important to consolidate different political forces in South Africa, within Parliament and outside Parliament. And we have been speaking to about 6 different political parties, including Action SA, to see how we can cooperate better, both in Parliament and also at local government level.
Great. Going forward, what do you expect for Rise Mzansi, and what do you want to leave our viewers with? I think probably a lot are struggling to see hope in all of this. So what would be some hopeful sign, and what would Rise Mzansi hope to achieve?
What I can say is that as disconcerting as what happened here today is, it's really important to say this shall pass, there shall be a solution to this, and that solution will be sustainable. That is the first thing that I want to say. The second thing that I want to say is that there is a path out of this which averts a fiscal crisis and also protects the most vulnerable South Africans. The third thing I want to say goes beyond today, and that is every South African lives in a municipality. our municipalities are in crisis. That's the next big focus for Rise Mzansi, both in terms of the work that I do in the Standing Committee on Public Accounts, but I also want to invite South Africans to work with us, to get in touch with us, to make sure that in 2026 we improve local government. There is no way this country succeeds if we don't improve local government.
Awesome. Thank you, Mark, so much, Songezo.
All right, thank you.
Good luck.
Thank you.